We had over $120,000 in our business account, and in less than 24 hours, almost all of it was gone. No warning, no explanation, just gone. And the worst part, the person who took it was the one I trusted the most, my business partner. My name is Jason Miller. I'm 39, based in Austin, Texas. I run a small service business with someone I thought I could trust completely. And that morning, everything changed. I logged into our business account like I always do, coffee in one hand, laptop open. Normal day. At least, that's what I thought. Until I saw the balance. It didn't look right. At first, I thought maybe I was reading it wrong, because just 3 days earlier, we had crossed $120,000 in the account. Client payments, invoices finally clearing, months of work paying off. But now, it was sitting just above zero. Not low, not reduced, almost empty. That's when my chest tightened, because numbers like that don't just change overnight. I immediately opened the transaction history, and that's when everything got worse. Multiple transfers, large ones, each one moving money out of the account one after another, and every single one was authorized, but not by me. Ryan, my business partner, the same guy I started this company with 3 years ago, we built everything together. Late nights, tight budgets, small wins that slowly turned into real growth, and most importantly, trust. Because in business, you don't just share profits, you share control and access. I grabbed my phone and called him. No answer. Tried again. Still nothing. That's when something in my gut told me this wasn't a mistake. This was planned. I didn't wait. I drove straight to our office. The parking lot was empty, lights off, and when I walked inside, something felt off immediately. His desk was cleared. No laptop, no files, just gone. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just missing money. My business partner had disappeared with it. I thought we were building something together, but he had been planning his exit, while I was still building our future. For a few seconds, I just stood there, looking at his empty desk, trying to process what I was seeing. Because this wasn't just about money anymore. This felt planned. I walked back to my office and opened the account again. Same numbers, same transactions. Still gone. That's when I noticed something I had missed earlier. The transfers didn't all happen at once. They were spread out over 2 days. Smaller chunks at first, then larger ones. Like someone was testing the limits before going all in. And that's when it hit me. He didn't just take the money, he made sure he could. I pulled up our internal records, invoices, client payments, everything lined up. This wasn't random. He knew exactly how much was in the account and exactly how to move it. I tried calling him again, straight to voicemail. Then I checked his email. No reply. Messages unread, like he had just disappeared. That's when I started thinking back. The last few weeks, the small things I ignored, because now they didn't feel small anymore. He had been asking more questions about the account, about balances, timing, incoming payments. At the time, it felt normal. We were growing, handling more money. But now, it felt different. Like he wasn't asking as a partner. He was planning as an exit. I checked the access logs, every login, every action, and there it was. Late night activity, multiple logins, transfers initiated outside our usual schedule. That's when the reality fully set in. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't bad judgment. This was intentional, and I had been right there the whole time, not seeing it. I sat back in my chair, trying to figure out what to do next, because this wasn't just a business problem anymore. This was legal, financial, personal. everything at once. I called our bank, explained the situation. They asked the same question I wasn't ready to answer. Was he authorized on the account? I paused, because the answer was yes. We had set it up that way from the beginning. Equal access, equal control, because that's what partners do. And in that moment, that decision came back to hit me hard, because now the bank couldn't treat this like fraud, not immediately. To them, this looked like an internal dispute, not theft. And that made everything more complicated. I didn't just lose the money. I realized I had given him the exact access he needed to take it. That night, I didn't go home right away. I stayed in the office, sitting there, staring at a business we had built together, and trying to understand how it all fell apart so fast. Because just a week ago, everything felt normal. We were growing, landing new clients, planning the next phase. And now, I was sitting there alone, with an almost empty account. The next morning, I started making calls. Lawyers, accountants, anyone who could tell me what my options were. And that's when things got even more real. Because legally, this wasn't simple. Ryan wasn't an outsider. He wasn't a hacker. He was an authorized partner, which meant he had the right access. And that made everything harder to prove. Some of the money could potentially be traced. Some might be recovered. But most of it, uncertain. That word kept coming up again and again. Uncertain. And in business, uncertainty is expensive. I filed reports, started the legal process, but I quickly realized something important. Even if I won, it wouldn't be quick, and it definitely wouldn't be easy. Meanwhile, the business still had to survive. Clients still expected results. Bills still needed to be paid. And now, I was the only one left to handle it. I had to make a decision. Either shut everything down, or try to rebuild from what was left. And walking away felt easier. But I didn't. Because that business wasn't just money. It was years of effort, late nights, sacrifices. So I stayed. I cut expenses, reduced operations, focused only on what we could manage. And slowly, things started stabilizing. Not like before, but enough to keep going. And during that time, I learned something I'll never forget. In business, trust feels natural. You build it over time, through work, through results, through shared goals. But trust without structure is risk. Because we never set strict controls, no dual approvals, no spending limits. We relied on understanding instead of protection. And that cost me, not just financially, but mentally, emotionally. Because losing money hurts, but being blindsided by someone you trusted, that hits differently. Looking back now, there's one thing I would tell anyone starting a business. Don't just build trust, build systems. Because people can change, situations can change, and when they do, your protection shouldn't depend on assumptions. It should depend on structure. I didn't just lose $120,000. I learned that in business, trust isn't protection, systems are. Would you fully trust a business partner with access to your bank account? Or should there always be strict controls in place? Because sometimes trust without protection can cost everything. What would you do differently? Leave a comment, and don't forget like and subscribe to Dollar Confessions for real money stories.